as we're sitting here right now, I would say there's pretty good odds that is your institutional fingerprint there. So it just let time pass. We will know that this is not the institutional fingerprint if the market can go break out through the top. And now we can see it, obviously hindsight 2020. You can see in hindsight now that yes, that was the institutional fingerprint. Just simply looking at this, just go back to the textbook definition, the bar that made the high plus the preceding bar. So this bar here, and this is the most important bar, believe it or not, this bar here is what happens here is the market goes spiking up. Like literally the market's like a runaway freight train through this. And really what we're asking is, and you can only see this after the fact, like you could have postulated, well, this was a bar and this was the bar, this was the bar that made the high and this was the preceding bar. And you notice the market backed away from there. So you go, well, that's the institutional fingerprint. Well, not really, because you can see they turned around. The bulls got another head of steam and they went blasting through. And whoever tried to stop the bull here, they failed here. So here is, in this particular case, we fast forward through time. Let's do it off of this thing. So DXY, I think this is the one that you're looking at. So as you pointed out, and what I would even say is let's just hit the replay button, right? So we're there. You're like, okay, that's the institutional fingerprint. Bar that made the high plus the preceding bar. So there is my institutional fingerprint. And you just, let time go and you see that, oh, actually, nope. That was not the institutional fingerprint. Why? Because the bears came charging, or the bulls, beg your pardon, came charging back and blasted through. Whoever tried to put a top in this market, they are not the institutional players. And boom, they smashed that high. So then you have to take your little drawing tool and go, okay, well, this is a new high. And the bar that made the preceding bar, okay, maybe that's the institutional fingerprint. Only way we're going to know is if the market tries to test these highs and gets rejected and pushed down, then we know, looking back in hindsight, that was the institutional fingerprint. Well, let's maybe slow this down a bit. So it might be, all right, now we're getting things like reload zone failures, candle body highs or trade location. It looks like somebody is really trying to defend this range. The bulls tried to come back and they got stopped in their tracks right in that wick. So that's looking to me, if this thing actually, and it did, you can see that this thing actually emmed out now. So as sort of more anecdotal evidence that yes, this was indeed the institutional fingerprint, as soon as this bearish market structure comes in, now we can actually say, well, it looks to me like we have a new downtrend working, which is more further anecdotal evidence that, yeah, this is where some Mr. Fat Cat came along and stopped the bull. The bull sure tried like the Dickens to get up through here, and they said, no, get your butt back down there. And they actually even confirmed this M top on that push back down. So, as we're sitting here right now, I would say there's pretty good odds that is your institutional fingerprint there. So it just let time pass. We will know that this is not the institutional fingerprint if the market can go break out through the top. And now we can see it, obviously hindsight 2020. You can see in hindsight now that yes, that was the institutional fingerprint. And now what's interesting is my hunch is this level now, candle body highs for trade location, right? This little zone right here is like, you could almost even say you want like not only is this the institutional fingerprint, but this is now like the actual like institution's thumbprint, right? Or pinky print or index fingerprint. Where were they sharpshooting and rejecting the bull here and making damn sure it would not move any higher? And I would say right into those candle body highs. Now, you could also, while we were going through the process of trying to figure out if this is actually an institutional fingerprint, here's your daily chart. You can even see how this looked, right? The daily institutional fingerprint was actually that bar and that bar. I don't know whether you can see that or not. So weekly institutional fingerprint, daily institutional fingerprint. And you can clearly see in hindsight, of course, you can't see this in real time, right? Because you might have said, well, Brian, maybe this is the institutional fingerprint, right? Market works its way down. Okay, yeah, maybe that is top. And then boom, busted it out. No, there's some bigger fat cat that went and slammed all these guys out. Then higher. So clearly that wasn't it. Okay, well, maybe this is the institutional fingerprint. Market worked its way back down, then quickly came right back up. No, not the institutional fingerprint, because somebody went and broke this high. So clearly somebody said, I'm a bull, get out of my way. Boom, up we go. At this point, you could draw the weekly one and you've got that sort of working away. Then you drill down to your daily chart and, I've said this a few times. I think it's important that you understand this. You cannot see this institutional fingerprint in real time. You can't see it like right there. It might be, but you just don't know. It could be just exactly the same as saying, well, that could be the institutional fingerprint. It might, but we won't know until after the fact.